Hello, everyone. Today we have a very important stream, a live one coming up. It won't be a long one, but it is incredibly important to us because from the very inception of the SAVVA project, we promised you all that this project would eventually be released as open source. This means that all of the project's source code will be progressively made available for public access. And this product is envisioned as a community project, completely free from any commercial influence. It aims to empower anyone who desires to establish their own SAVVA network to achieve this in a truly democratic fashion, simply by downloading the necessary software programs and installing them on their computer. That we write simply by installing them on a computer, and in doing so, launching another SAVVA network instance. And so today is a significant day for us. We're open sourcing the complete web client for the SAVVA system, making it publicly available. Let's go ahead and let's take a moment to look at what the latest SAVVA client, which we've been discussing, actually looks like. Please give me a moment to share it with you now. Just one moment, please. All right, where do we have it? All right, just 1 second. I can't seem to find it. Okay, one more time. Okay, here it is. All right, this is what our latest, well, the latest version of the SAVVA client that we're talking about today looks like. This is quite an intricate web application that essentially encompasses and realizes all the numerous and diverse functionalities of the SAVVA platform, including working with blockchains, interacting with IPFS, the capability to publish posts, comment, reward authors, and subscribe to favorite authors. The full spectrum of features and functionality available on the SAVVA platform is now implemented within our web client. So if we were to click this sandwich menu, you'd find the version number at the very bottom, which is version 1.5. This is the latest version, and this is what we are in fact making open source today. Yes, hello everyone again. Although there aren't many people here live right now, I know a lot of people will eventually watch this stream. We've already gathered some statistics to confirm that. So what exactly is particularly significant in this newest version? Most significantly, the developer documentation has been greatly improved and expanded. If we delve into the documentation, we'll discover a newly integrated section and installation guide, which functions as a detailed handbook providing comprehensive instructions. This means a person, in the true crypto manner, doesn't need to ask for anyone's permissions or approvals, essentially operating autonomously without seeking any kind of consent. So if you decide on your own that you want to set up your own SAVVA network, you would then go directly to the documentation, specifically to this very section. And here it will thoroughly guide you step by step on precisely how you can successfully establish this network. Let's just quickly go through them. The whole point of today's stream is really to announce what has taken place. This won't be a lengthy technical lecture on exactly how to do it, but there are some critical points I definitely want to discuss today. So first and foremost, let's briefly review once again how the SAVVA platform structure is organized. Fundamentally, it's comprised of three main components. First, actually, it would probably be better to list them in a different order. Let's start from the bottom. First of all, there's a set of smart contracts that are on the blockchain and which implement the basic token dynamics, or what's referred to in the crypto world as tokenomics. This means that all the operations, every single action that users can perform within the SAVVA system are specifically and precisely reflected in a small number of smart contracts. There are approximately 10 contracts there which, in essence, implement the entire potential tokenomics of the SAVVA system. These contracts are already located on the blockchain. As we know, Today, the SAVVA platform only exists on top of the Pulse Chain blockchain. However, as I previously hinted, this situation is destined to undergo a radical transformation next year. This project was conceived from the start as a multi-chain project. We'll be launching on different blockchains. So, the first part is the smart contracts. The second important part is what we call the backend. This is a server program whose primary task, in essence, is quite straightforward. It simply caches information obtained from the blockchain. A blockchain is a very expensive and very slow database. If one attempts to build an interface directly on top of the blockchain, its performance will be incredibly poor. Why? It's just too slow. To get any information from the blockchain, you have to ask a blockchain node to go into the corresponding block and pull out the information about a completed transaction. This all takes a very long time and just can't work properly. Therefore, what we refer to as the SAVVA backend is essentially a server program. Its primary role is to diligently track all occurrences taking place on the blockchain. Subsequently, it carefully indexes this comprehensive information within its own dedicated database. This setup enables swift interaction with SAVVA content, facilitating efficient operation in a typical production environment. So, to build your own, to launch your very own website, you'll need to find a starting point to install this particular server program, the server, a node, so to speak, the backend of the SAVVA system, hosted on one of the servers. So we'll discuss how to do that today. It's not difficult. This is the second cornerstone. So we have our contracts and this server component that caches all the information. Our regular web interface or web client, basically a standard website, is then built on top of this, interacting directly with this SAVVA node. It operates in a normal mode like a regular client-server web application. There's nothing particularly special about it. Therefore, this node's entire API is open and publicly known. We can take a look at it today. Maybe we'll do a separate session to see how it's structured. And this web client is capable of interacting with the SAVVA node in a wonderfully efficient and swift manner, providing a very pleasant experience. A professional quality interface. This, in essence, is the SAVVA web client that we are completely open sourcing today. I will explain in more detail shortly what this truly entails. So, there are these three components. If you want to launch your own website, you just need to follow the steps carefully. What's very important here? We've tried to explain what to do and how to do it in as much detail as possible, writing a thorough guide. We took the time to translate it into all the languages supported by our platform. You have the flexibility to switch to any other language and read this guide in your preferred language. But SAVVA, where I'm currently viewing this specific client version, it offers comprehensive support for 4 distinct languages: English, Russian, French, and Ukrainian. Therefore, if you were to visit another website, such as Pacta Civitas, you'd find it supports a different array of languages. It has Spanish, it has Serbian. All the documentation has been translated into those languages as well. Let's switch back to English. So, what's coming up next? Well, if we take a moment to look, yes, there are indeed some specific preliminary, technical requirements that need to be met. Clearly, a certain computer is essential on which you'll be running this very specific. Regarding the SAVVA node, its requirements are very, very lenient. This makes it quite accessible. So, a quite ordinary, what you might call a shared node on some cloud server, will be perfectly capable of handling this task. Why? Because, let me reiterate, the entire purpose of this client is simply to meticulously index information from the blockchain, and not all of the vast amount of information, but specifically only that which directly pertains to the SAVVA platform. Thus, the computer requirements for running this blockchain node are quite undemanding. So you could, for instance, rent a cloud server for $15 and run all this on it. And it will all work perfectly and support thousands of users without any problems. Next, here's a careful breakdown of the computer requirements. And it also carefully details which specific software products must be installed to successfully compile and then run this entire client application. The following page provides a comprehensive explanation of how to effectively launch this SAVVA node, along with precise instructions on where to acquire it. Here is the URL where, for the first time ever in the project's entire history, we have publicly released the backend program, and what's even more significant is that I'm going to open this specific page for you right now. Essentially, there's an open folder where the actual backend program itself resides. Moreover, within this exact folder, the current database is meticulously preserved and updated daily as a standard operational procedure. Why? If you install the SAVVA system on a new clean computer. If you install the SAVVA system server and launch it for the first time, it will begin to synchronize the blockchain. From the very moment the SAVVA smart contract was successfully deployed and activated on the blockchain. It has been exactly 1 full year since we launched this project. This will take some time, as the synchronization process will be quite lengthy. To avoid wasting time on that, you can instead download the latest database snapshot like this one, and simply load it directly into your database. This way, you'll be instantly synchronized and up to date with all the current information. And even if some additional syncing is required, it will only take a matter of minutes. This will allow you to instantly bring your node to an operational state and begin utilizing it without delay. I also won't spend much time here. There are many technical requirements, though. Thus, certain technical proficiencies are undeniably required to successfully deploy and operate such a system. However, these skills are not inherently complex or unusual, specific about them. It's just standard. Administrative skills, such as those necessary to launch a program on a Linux server. Basically, all this information is easily available on the internet. Still, we tried to create the most detailed step-by-step instructions on how to do it. And I hope it's clear. If you have any comments, of course, write to us and complain. We'll improve it all and make it even simpler. But these days we have a wonderful assistant, AI, which you can feed this documentation to. It will guide you step by step through setting up everything in your specific environment with your servers, and you'll be done in about 30 minutes. That's the back end. Now for the client, our main topic today. The web client will be made publicly accessible today, directly during this very live stream. This signifies that not just the program itself, but indeed the entirety of this project's source code will be made publicly available. And that's a completely different level of openness. Why? Because, well, first of all, we have instructions on how to download this source code from the repository, how to compile it, how to get a working version of the website, and how to install it on a server. All those instructions are here, step by step. But since we're releasing the actual source code, which offers users considerably more possibilities, it's not just about installing the client exactly as we provide it. It offers people the chance to introduce modifications to this client. Potentially quite radical, you can modify it, add new functionality, change the interface, colors, or the entire site layout, truly anything you desire. This license grants you the freedom to do whatever you please with this website, subject to a few minor restrictions. And it's very important to talk about these restrictions now, because right here we have the UI license, a special file that states under which license we are releasing this site, this open source project. So, our license is actually based on a quite popular and well-known open source license, GPL version 3. To put it briefly, this license grants you permission to make any and all modifications to this code and to release any quantity of products with a single minor stipulation. The specific changes you implement must also be made open source. And I truly believe that's a perfectly fitting and highly appropriate requirement for a public project like this. We've completed our part by open sourcing this code. If you develop a new version that surpasses ours, you're only required to also make it open source, enabling others to continue developing and advancing this project based on your version. And the second, and there's a minor modification we have introduced to this license. The essence of it is this: all these possibilities are at your disposal and remain available to you, so long as you consistently choose to utilize the standard SAVVA contracts that exist on the blockchain. Thus, the sole limitation we impose upon users is that your innovative system, that is, your novel interface, or indeed any website you choose to construct utilizing this open source endeavor, is still obligated to continue employing our pre-existing smart contracts. This is understandable, as we're open sourcing, charging no one, and actively working. We've been working for a whole year, and we have huge plans for the coming years. Why are we doing all this? We're doing it solely so that this platform can continue to exist, so that people can use it. And all of our benefits boil down to a single point. if individuals keep utilizing our smart contracts, the value of our token will inevitably increase. Naturally, we hold a certain amount of these tokens and we hope its value will grow significantly, and that will be that's precisely where our personal return on this project will be derived. I think it's a very honest proposition. If this thing isn't successful, if nobody uses it, then we don't earn anything. So that's the gist of it. As long as you're utilizing the standard SAVVA contracts, you're free to use this code to launch any projects or systems, including your very own SAVVA systems, which I should note don't necessarily have to be public. I always make a point of bringing this up whenever I discuss SAVVA. So you could very well launch it and use it with a group of friends without making the website public at all. And that use case for the system is also quite interesting, but we probably won't dwell on it today. Today, we're just celebrating the fact that users finally have this opportunity. Right. Yes, it's carefully written out how to configure all this and how to set it all up. There are detailed instructions on how to do additional things, like, for example, you need to connect a Telegram bot to the SAVVA system. This feature is incredibly popular because it allows all system alerts to be sent straight to your Telegram channel. So it's also carefully written out in detail how to create such a Telegram bot and successfully connect it to your brand new website. We also made an effort to meticulously describe all of this, and furthermore, we even attempted to address some of the potential issues or difficulties that you might encounter along the way, and how to react to them correctly and how to fix them. So that's basically the main topic of what happened today. I wouldn't want to delve into a highly detailed technical lecture on each of these specific points today, as our current focus lies elsewhere. I just want to express my joy that this has finally happened. And indeed, I'd like to conclude today's stream by genuinely releasing all of this as open source, because until this very moment, this project has remained closed off. If we navigate to its URL, which I will display on the screen for you shortly, we will discover that there is a dedicated project hosted on GitHub, created by the company Alexna Holdings. That's me personally. That's my personal company, my corporation. And this company has a project called SAVVA UI solid.js. SAVVA UI for user interface. This project is built on solid.js. Currently, there's quite an interesting tension brewing between React enthusiasts and those who aren't so keen on it. And now a new platform has appeared, a pretty popular one that's becoming more and more popular as an alternative to React. I really like it, and the whole web interface is built on that solid.js package. And now I'm going to the applause of the audience, make it available for public access. Allow me to play that wonderful video again for you now, the very one we began with. So, while that's playing, I will go ahead and attempt to open this project up for everyone. All right, everyone, congratulations. Now let's all take a look. You see, up there in the URL of this video, it's a really good video, isn't it? Very entertaining and lively. Up in the URL, you see, in the ChatGPT title, you see, next to the project, there's a small lock. This indicates that this repository is closed, not yet available to everyone. Look, I'm going to attempt to refresh this page. And the little lock has disappeared. That means, dear friends, that now anyone can simply go and navigate to this specific URL, gaining access. All right, just one moment. I'll display it on the full screen. Just a moment. Here's the URL. It's github.com, specifically Alex NA Holdings, SAVVA-UI-solid.js, all one word. Go ahead. Feel free to download it, experiment with it, and ask any questions you might have. If you come across any wishes, proposals, or even compliance-related issues or grievances, I am fully transparent and accessible online. Feel free to find me on the X platform, just Alex NA, or on Telegram, the Alex NA. And with that, we are bringing today's stream to a close. I want to wish everyone happy upcoming holidays. Let's hope next year will be, let's say, at the very least, not completely terrible. That would definitely be a huge blessing. We'll see you all next year. We have incredibly ambitious plans with many fascinating endeavors, directions along which we are developing this project further. So stay tuned for more exciting news, and we'll catch you all next time. Cheers, everyone.